Okay, this is Mechatronics Computer Programming Final. Here I have my simulated factory setup where I have a button to act as approval, like a sensor when the process is over and ready to be moved on to the next process. I have a green light to indicate that it's awaiting approval to move on, a red light symbolizing that it's undergoing the process, and a blue light to symbolize the parts being assembled in the assembly bay. And I have a motor right here to signify the conveyor belt. Right here I have my code. I have all my variables, pin modes to declare outputs and inputs, and I have my functions. Serial prints, and then at the bottom I have all my void functions. So if I go here to my serial window and restart the program, you'll see that the motor is spinning and it serial prints part moving, and then it's serial printed serial print. It's serial printed process happening, and then now it's awaiting approval. So I give approval by pressing the button, and then the part is moving, process is happening, process is over, awaiting approval, motor spinning, process happening, awaiting approval, moving the part, and then it shows us how many parts are ready to be assembled. So now we're starting to create the second part. Right now we're on the second process. Now we're waiting for approval. I'm approving. This is the third process of the second part. So now we're moving the part to the assembly bay. It shows that we have two parts. Now the blue light comes on, signifying that we're assembling. And then we move the part to the inventory, and it states how many parts are in the inventory. And then it resets, going back to the beginning of creating part 1. Awaiting approval. Process is happening. Green light, waiting approval. I give approval. Now, this button doesn't need to be a button. It could be a sensor. So let's say that there's like a temperature sensor where like it'll cure the product, and then once it hits like a certain temperature, then it'll move the product out onto the conveyor. Or even like a timer, like if we want it to set for like a certain amount of time, we could do that. Or if there's a like pressure sensor, like if the weight of the product we're like adding until a certain point, then it'll move. So it doesn't need to be a physical button and someone pushing to approve. It could be sensors. Now it's adding the part. The parts reset, because once there's two parts, then it combines it. So now we're on the first, we just finished the first process of the second part. This is the second process. And the third process adds the part. Now it's combining the parts, moving it to the inventory, and then shows us how many in the inventory we have. And process can go on and on and on. And we could completely automate this by having a sensor or a timer or something so that I don't need to give approval. It waits for approval from the sensor. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys later.